Now, shall we go for the Spring framework, ma'am? Sorry, Spring MVC? Yes, why not? So, okay, fine. So, what is Spring MVC, guys? Anyone, please? Anyone? Guys, anyone? Can you explain what it means by Spring MVC? Anyone, please? Yes. Okay. Now, guys, please focus. So generally, using Spring MVC, we can develop the web application. Please focus, sir. Sir, what is the use of Spring MVC? So using Spring MVC can develop the web applications, and even you can design distributed application development. Okay, so before going to talk about Spring MVC, let's try to recollect what it means by controller, right? What do you mean by controller? The view. You remember, sir? Model. So controller, then let me write it here. This is my view component. This is my controller sorry, a controller, yes. This is my model. So what exactly is happening now, controller? Controller. Controller takes the request coming from a client view, process the request, takes the request, comes from the view or client, process the request. Yes or no? Yes. Let get now. What about the view component? View presentation logic to view what is the view presentation logic to view the better to show the better view presentation layer to view the better to show the better view for end user. So we try to use presentation logic. So now, what about here model? What exactly is doing a model? So model if it contains two types of operations. One is business logic, and second one is persistent logic. So business and persistent operation can be performed by model. So the view component, it gives the information to controller. Controller takes that information and it gives a process the request to model. Model performing the operations and give a response back to a controller. Controller again back to view component. This is what happens in the here. Yes. Look at now. The same thing what I mentioned here. Look at controller is one who takes the client request and pass the request to the appropriate model. Fine. So generally, sir, when you are trying to talk about controller, maybe we can try to use once you working with MVC architecture, working with servlet JSP, control maybe can try to use what? Maybe servlets or JSP. Yes or no? Good. Once you work with model, so no doubt here persistent logic, it means that we try to use Hibernate. Yes, whatever we knowledge we try to make it. Now view component, yes, we can try to use JSPs. Yes or no, guys? Friends? Right. So this is the what we can try to perform the operation. Any questions? Good. So now let's try to focus here. Using Spring MVC, what I can do it, sir? Using Spring MVC can develop the web application development and distribute application development. Yes, good. Now let's try to focus, sir. See, using Spring MVC, yes, we can try to design the web application development and distributed application development. Using Spring MVC module is available in Spring Framework. In Spring 1.x version, we have Spring MVC and Spring Web module. In Spring 2.x onwards, Web module and MVC module are combined related Spring Web MVC module. Spring MVC module is used to develop two types of application. One is web application development and distributed application. So now let me try to talk about. So if you ask anyone question, hey guys, can you try to explain? Can you try to explain what is Spring Web MVC, sir? Guys, please, anyone? Can you tell me now what it mean by what it mean by come on guys, anyone please? What it mean by array sorry Spring Web MVC. So now let me try to give the answer. So using Spring Web MVC, we can design the web application development, or even you can try to put Spring Framework is introduced a Spring Web MVC module to perform the web application development and distributed application development. Yes. So then, now we are talking about the web application development. Spring MVC, using Spring MVC, yes, we can design the application based on MVC architecture and front to control design pattern. So once you try to talk about the advantages, what are the advantages of Spring MVC, guys? So where is 12 advantages I highlighted, guys? Very simple, sir. So where Spring MVC is a lightweight. What does it mean by lightweight? So it uses a lightweight container to develop and deploy the web application. Spring MVC provides form tags to develop a presentational logic. Validation implementation is simplified. Spring MVC provide custom JSP tags which are useful to implement presentational logic. Spring can integrate with other web frameworks like Struts and Velocity like this. Integration with other view technologies like Velocity, FreeMarker, Excel, and PDF. Parallel development is possible to make separation of the roles. Using Spring MVC, we can develop loosely coupled web application. Spring MVC has an inbuilt front controller. Validation and exception handling is simplified in Spring MVC. Spring MVC, we can develop the web application and distributed application also. So, sir, if you ask anyone question, hey Shiva, can you explain what is the use of Spring MVC? I'll tell like this. So using Spring MVC, we can design the web application. We can make a simplification of the web development. And using Spring MVC can integrate with third-party frameworks like Struts and Velocity, TypeScript frameworks. And even you can try to make the simplification presentation logic like using presentation time leaf and even Spring MVC. Spring MVC framework is still providing form binding parameters, like I said, told you that custom tags, right? Form binding other tags. Validation and exception handling is simplified, and even you can try to make the to integrate with the third-party frameworks, persistent frameworks like Hibernate and IBTs, like this. So I think, and even using Spring MVC, we can try to make the simplification of presentation logic. I can say better word is view technologies like Velocity, FreeMarker, Excel, PDF. Yes, we can make it easy. Clean separation of roles is possible because the Spring framework is worked with based on dependency injection. Sir, I hope you understand everyone. Please. Arthavainamma, everyone, please. Any questions?
Sir.
Right. Is it clear, everyone? Malok, sorry. Using Spring MVC, what type of application we can design? The web applications and distribute application development. Yes. Now, using Spring MVC module provide form tags, Spring MVC form tags to develop a presentation logic. Okay. Even Spring MVC can integrate with third-party frameworks like what are the third-party frameworks, please? Anyone? Struts, right?
Struts,
JS like this.
Velocity.
And if you want to make integrate with view technologies like Velocity, FreeMarker, Excel, PDF, yes, I can try to work with this. Parallel development is possible to make the separation of roles. Yes. So we can develop loosely coupled web application, guys. Spring MVC has inbuilt front controller. Validation and exception handling logic is simplified. And international logic is simplified working with a Spring MVC framework. Are you clear, everyone, please? Yes or no? Still any questions? Guys, anyone? Guys, anyone? Any questions, please? Please. Right. Good. Now, let me explain. Okay. Now, let me try to talk about Spring architecture now. First of all, let me try to speak about architecture. So one thing, first step, dispatcher solid. Solid. So dispatcher solid is a predefined solid man. Dispatcher solid is a predefined servlet. Dispatcher solid is act as a predefined servlet. Predefined servlet. It's a design. So dispatcher solid is designed built Spring framework is providing a built-in controller, built-in predefined built-in controller like this. Dispatcher server takes the request coming from a view component. Dispatcher server takes the request from a client. So what is that request? First step is request. Now takes the request and gives the request to handler mapper. Okay, what is that handler mapper? Handler mapper is responsible to take the request. Handler mapper is responsible to take the request coming from a dispatcher servlet, and identify the controller, gives the response back to dispatcher servlet. అంటే ఏ కంట్రోలరు అంటే రిక్వెస్ట్ వస్తుందమ్మా. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ లాగిన్ అప్లికేషన్ అనుకోండి, ఆ రిక్వెస్ట్ వస్తుంది. ఈ హ్యాండిల్ పేపర్ ఏం చేస్తుంది, ఆ లాగిన్ కంట్రోల్ ఎక్కడ ఉందా ఎతికిద్ది, ఎతికి ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేసి దాని యొక్క ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ని ఎవరికి ఇస్తుంది, డిస్పాచర్ సర్వర్కి ఇస్తుంది. ఆర్ యు క్లియర్ ఎవ్రీవన్ ప్లీజ్? ఎస్ ఆర్ నో? ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఎలా వర్క్ చేస్తా అంటే ఇలా మీకు అర్థం కావడం కోసం లాగిన్ డాట్ జేఎస్పి ఇలా ఉంది. ఇక్కడ నుంచి నువ్వు క్లిక్ చేస్తే ఎక్కడికి వస్తుంది, రైట్, డిస్పాచర్ సర్వర్కి వస్తుంది. ఇక్కడ డిస్పాచర్ సర్వర్ ఏం చేస్తుంది, టేక్స్ ద రిక్వెస్ట్ అండ్ గివ్ ద రిక్వెస్ట్ టు హూమ్, హ్యాండ్లర్. హ్యాండ్లర్ మ్యాపర్ ఈ యొక్క లాగిన్ జేఎస్పి సంబంధించిన వాళ్ళని ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేయవా అంటది. సో మన అప్లికేషన్లో లాగిన్ అప్లికేషన్ చేస్తాం, లాగిన్ కంట్రోల్ ఉంటుంది. రిజిస్ట్రేషన్ అప్లికేషన్ చేస్తాం, రిజిస్ట్రేషన్ కంట్రోల్ ఉంటుంది. ఇట్లా అకార్డింగ్ టు యువర్ రిక్వైర్మెంట్ వీ హ్యావ్ ఎన్ నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ కంట్రోలర్స్. ఓకే, నౌ రిజిస్ట్రేషన్ కంట్రోలర్. ఆర్ యు క్లియర్? ఎస్ ఆర్ నో ప్లీజ్? కంట్రోలర్ దీన్ని ఫైండ్ అవుట్ లాగిన్ కంట్రోల్ కదా, లాగిన్ కంట్రోలర్ని ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేసి దెన్ ఇట్ గివ్ ద రెస్పాన్స్ బ్యాక్ టు హూమ్ డిస్పాచర్. డిస్పాచ్ సర్వర్ లాగిన్ కంట్రోల్ ని ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేశాను, ఇదిగో అని చెప్పేస్తుంది. ఈజ్ ఇట్ క్లియర్ నౌ? ఎస్ ఫ్రెండ్స్, ఈజ్ ఇట్ క్లియర్? So now again, so dispatcher servlet, the dispatch servlet gives the request to controller. This dispatch servlet will give the request to controller and controller will do the process. Yes, దీనికి అర్థమైపోయింది ఎవరు అనేది. So dispatch servlet ఏం చేస్తుంది, go and perform the operation. The controller takes the request from the dispatch servlet and it perform the it will complete it will perform the request process. Once the process completed, it gives the response back to dispatcher servlet, right, in the form of model and view. అంటే నువ్వు ప్రాసెస్ చేసింది అంటే కంట్రోల్ ఏం చేస్తుంది, డిస్పాచ్ సర్వర్ తీసుకొని మోడల్తో మాట్లాడి సో నువ్వు దాన్ ఏ జేఎస్పీ పేజ్ నుండి ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ కావాలి అన్నది సెండ్ చేస్తుంది. అందుకే మోడల్ అండ్ వ్యూ ఇట్ గివ్ ద రెస్పాన్స్ బ్యాక్ టు మోడల్ అండ్ వ్యూ. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ డేటాబేస్ స్టోర్ అయింది, సక్సెస్ మెసేజ్ అనేది నాకు సెండ్ చేయాలి ఫ్రంట్ ఎండ్కి. అప్పుడు ఏం చేస్తాం, ఏ కంట్రోల్ ఏం చేస్తుంది, ఇట్ గివ్స్ ద వ్యూ కాంపోనెంట్ నేమ్ టు డిస్పాచ్ సర్వ్లెట్. ఈజ్ ఇట్ క్లియర్? ఎస్ ఆర్ నో ప్లీజ్? రైట్, నెక్స్ట్. సో now dispatch servlet JSP student.jsp student.jsp success.jsp success.jsp. Now it provide view resolver. అర్థమైందా? Right. What will happen now? View resolver identify the view component. అర్థమైందమ్మా? View resolver identify the view resolver identify the view component. So, dispenser gives the request back to view resolver. View resolver, where exactly this JSP page is available in your application, in your project, where exactly this JSP page is available. View resolver identify the view component and give that location to whom dispatches servlet. Good. Now here. ఇంతే ఇంతేనంట ఏముంది ఇక చూడండి. రైట్. సో జేఎస్పీ పిహెచ్పి డిస్పాచర్ ఇట్ గివ్స్ ద వ్యూరర్ ఏం చేస్తుంది, పాన్ లొకేషన్లో ఉంది అని చెప్పింది. మెల్లగా వెళ్ళి ఆ డిస్పాచర్ ఏం చేస్తుంది, ఆ వ్యూ కాంపోనెంట్ ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ చేస్తుంది, దొరికావు దొంగ అని. అప్పుడు once execution is completed, the response goes back to controller. Response goes back to who? Where? Please. Client. This is what is happens till now. అర్థమవుతుందా? సో రైట్, ఇప్పుడు ఏం చేద్దాం, ఇది ఫస్ట్ స్టెప్ అమ్మా. సెకండ్ స్టెప్ ఏంది, హ్యాండ్లర్ మ్యాపర్కి ఇస్తుంది. థర్డ్ స్టెప్ ఏం చేస్తుంది, 7కి వస్తుంది. ఫోర్త్ స్టెప్ 7కి వస్తుంది. పిల్లలు అర్థమైందమ్మా? రైట్. 6th స్టెప్ ఏంది, ఇక్కడికి వస్తుంది. సెవెంత్ స్టెప్ ఏంది, ఇక్కడికి వస్తుంది. 8th స్టెప్, 9th స్టెప్, దెన్ 10th స్టెప్. అర్థమైందా? ఓకే. So dispatchers are act as a built-in controller, predefined controller, and it acts as a friend controller. Takes the request coming from a client and gives the request to handler mapper. Handler mapper is identifying the request, and handler mapper takes the request from the dispatch servlet, and it gives the controller identify the controller and gives back to dispatch servlet. Dispatch servlet gives the request to controller. Controller will process the request and give the response back to dispatch servlet is form of model and view. Is a form of model and view. Is clear? Next. So again, dispatch servlet gives a resolver where exactly the view resolver identify the view component where exactly is located. Then the view resolver, that location it gives back to dispatch servlet, and dispatch servlet it execute the view component. The result it gives back to client. So this is what is going to be happen, sir. I hope you understand, everyone. Please, yes or no? Please tell me, guys. Good. Now my question, if you ask like, what is handler mapper? What is the answer you provide? Please, sir. What is handler mapper?
Takes the request and gives the request back to the handler mapper.
Perfect. Handler mapper takes the request from the dispatch servlet and identify the controller, gives the response back to dispatcher servlet. Got it? Good. Now, what is the predefined handler mappers, madam? Next question. What are the predefined handler mappers, or I can say built-in handler mappers. Yes, please. ఇది మీకు తెలియదు, నేను చెప్తాను. హ్యాండ్లర్ మ్యాపర్ యాక్చువల్గా ఇంటర్ఫేస్ అండి. స్లోగా annotations వాడతానండి. హ్యాండ్లర్ మ్యాపర్ ఇంటర్ఫేస్. In name your handler mapping, then is a class. Then next simple URL handler mapping. So instead of using all these handler mappers, we can use one annotation name is called request mapping. ఇవన్నీ వాడకన్నా ఇది ఒకటి వాడచ్చండి. సో దెన్ విచ్ వన్ యూజ్ ఇన్ యువర్ ప్రాజెక్ట్ అంటే రిక్వెస్ట్ మ్యాపింగ్. ఇవన్నీ అవసరం లేదు. But are you know the predefined handler mappers అన్నప్పుడు చెప్పాలి names. Then I not but again immediately you have to say that. So no sir, I didn't use I didn't use these handler mappers అన్నట్టు మనం చెప్పుకోవాలి. Are you clear? And I didn't configure this handler mapping in the configuration because I work with annotation and generally we use like request mapping annotation. అర్థమైందా? Is it clear? Right. అర్థమైందా guys? Next, what is the controller? Anyone? You know that what is the controller? The controller takes the request coming from dispenser. Controller takes the request from the dispenser and process the request and give the response back. Give the response as part of model and view. This is the answer you have to be given back. Are you clear, everyone? Yes or no, please? Right. So can you tell me what are the predefined handler? What are the predefined, I can say, built-in controllers? Yes. Now, what are the built-in controllers, sir, please? Control interface, multi-action controller, controller. అర్థమైందమ్మా? Then simple form action controller. ఇవన్నీ మనం ప్రీవియస్ అయితే అన్ని రాయాల్సి వచ్చేదండి. మీకు ప్రతిదీ చాలా పెద్ద కష్టంగా ఉండేది. ప్రీవియస్ చెప్పాలన్నా కష్టంగా ఉండేది. ఇవన్నీ అవసరం లేదు ఇప్పుడు. ఏం వాడతారు? ఒకే ఒక annotation. So sorry, these are not interfaces, these are classes, guys. Sorry. Only one annotation I will try to use in my application development at the rate of controller. Is it clear, everyone? Yes. What is view resolver? Guys, చెప్పండి ఎవరన్నా? What is a view resolver? Please. View resolver identify the view component where exactly is located. That information will be sent back to dispatch servlet. That's it. Next question maybe, what is dispatch servlet? ఈ క్వశ్చన్స్ వస్తే చాలండి, మీరు ఇంటరాక్ట్ అయిపోవచ్చు. Dispatcher servlet. Next, what is dispatch servlet? Can you explain the Spring MVC flow? Are you clear? Yes or no? MVC form, not actually flow. Guys, anyone? Flow or చెప్పండి. Guys, please. Can you explain Spring MVC flow or Spring MVC architecture? Can you explain? ఇది మొత్తం కూడా మీరు ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేసుకోవాలి. Is it clear? Anyone, please? Anyone? Got it? Guys, please give the reply. Sir, are you understanding my point, please?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So ఈజీగా ఉందా లేదమ్మా చెప్పండి guys? Easy or not? అమ్మా ఈజీగా ఉందా లేదా?
Easy.
Easy, man.
ఈజీగా లేదా?
Easy
ఈజీగా ఉందా
అన్నాం
ఇది?
సార్.
ఈజీ అన్నారా? ఓకే, చాలా ఈజీ అమ్మా ఇది. ఇక్కడ స్ప్రింగ్ రన్నింగ్ నోట్స్ ఉంటుంది, దాంట్లో మొత్తం ప్రతి పాయింట్ కూడా రాస్తున్నానండి, చూసుకోండి ఒకసారి. రైట్, డయాగ్రామ్ కూడా ఉంటుంది కదా దాంట్లోనే. రైట్, ఈజ్ ఇట్ క్లియర్ ఎవ్రీవన్? ఎస్ శివ, గెట్ ఇట్. Shall we design one application, Shiva? Why not? చెప్పండి గారు, ఏదో క్వశ్చన్ రన్ అవుతుంది మీ మైండ్లో, చెప్పండి. చెప్పమ్మా. రైట్, చెప్పు. Spring MVC. Then here I'm writing welcome. I'm not welcome message, that's it. I just a com.sid. This is my package. Finish. చూడండి ఎంత సింపుల్ గా చెప్పానో, ఈ చదువు సరిపోద్దండి. Tomorrow I'll ask you guys, help me explain it. ఒక అప్లికేషన్ చేద్దాం బేసిక్ది. ఇక్కడ ఒక ఫోల్డర్ క్రియేట్ చేయండి. విచ్ ఫోల్డర్ మీకు తెలుసు కదమ్మా, ఇంతకుముందు చేసాం కదా. రైట్, జావా ఫోల్డర్. ఓకే, నౌ యాజ్ యూజువల్ let's try to first step, let's try to add targeted runtime. మీకు తెలుసు కదమ్మా. తర్వాత తెలుసు కదమ్మా ఎక్కడ ఉంటుంది ఏంటి. ఆల్రెడీ యూ డిజైన్ సర్చ్ చేసి అప్లికేషన్స్, దాని గురించి పెద్దగా కష్టపడిన అవసరం లేదు, ద సేమ్ స్టోరీ. రైట్, till now is perfect. So now next step, let me try to go for configuration file, sir. Please, where we can try to write a configuration file inside the web in a folder. Okay, other, sorry, configuration. Excellent. So before going to create this one, let's try to write pom.xml, sir. What is the pom.xml file? Yes, please observe that. The dependencies. How many dependencies we have to add, sir? Please. Nothing, sir. Just you can try to go for Spring Web MVC. Are you getting my point? Spring Web MVC. Maven dependency. That's it. Are you understanding? Please. One annotation once you're adding, that's sorry, one dependency if you add, that's another. Everything it will work well. 5.3.5 version we are trying to choosing. Yes. If you add this annotation, then observe that once you add it, then what are the jar files is downloading? Just observe, please. Deployed resources. Wait, it still is downloading some files. Meanwhile, I'll try to configure. Uh, wait, doing the thing in web.xml. So solid. So DS, you can try to give any logical name. I'm giving DS. Cert class. Here, what is the class? Dispatcher servlet. Right. Finish. So load on startup tag 0. So servlet mapping. Add logical name, then slash. Any request, if it comes, it should be handled. That's the reason we are writing like this. See now, dispatch servlet is configured. Are you clear? Yes, sure. Next, let me try to write it. The configuration file new XML. See XML. Here you can write it. What is the configuration file name? Dispatch servlet, dispatch servlet logical name hyphen servlet.xml. Dispatcher servlet logical name hyphen servlet.xml like this. Finish. So this is the way you can try to write it. Now as well, please already I mentioned here, right? This is very important. The schema. Right. Done. Context annotation config. So why we are using this one? To enable, yes, tell me, to enable Spring Framework. Even if you're not required user, then see, put the cursor here like this, madam. Observe shade range of activating various annotation to be detected. Then context component scan. So what will happen? This one is trying to registering, it trying to reading where exactly controllers are available. Context component scan. So you can try to use. So why we are using this one? So if you have any doubt in the package name, yes, you can try to use this one. This is my package. So what a controller I'm going to design this one. That's it. So next step. So let's try to write it a Java application. Like this. src main Java, then class, package name. So what I can write now? Dispatcher servlet. Sorry, you can try to write welcome servlet. Now here you can try to use annotation at the rate of controller annotation. Got it? Now I can try to use public string say hello. Done. Here you can try to use return. What is the JSP page? Returning view component name. So assume that welcome.jsp. .jsp we are trying to keep in here. Welcome.jsp like this. Got it, sir? Then what is the annotation we can try to use now? Request mapping. So here I can try to give hello, no issues. So welcome.jsp page. Let's try to create a JSP page. View resolver identify the view component where exactly is located, where you want to create. No doubt in the web app folder itself we try to create, sir. New JSP page. Right. Is it clear? No. సో హియర్ కెన్ ట్రై సి ఇంతేనండి ఏం లేదు మీరు ఎంత డిజైన్ చేస్తారన్న దాని మీద మీ ఆధారపడి ఉంటుందండి అందుకే మిమ్మల్ని డిజైన్ ఎందుకంటానంటే వన్స్ యూ డిజైన్ దెన్ యూ అండర్స్టాండ్ వెల్కమ్ బాస్ లెట్స్ హ్యావ్ ద ఫన్ రైట్ రైట్ now sir if you have any colorful you wanted done. So this is not important for me just I want to write like this. Done, sir. This is what I can write. So this is my URL pattern. Yes, I can try to give the request. So no, sir. From the index.jsp, when I start run my application index.jsp, here, note down. Here you can try to write the form action. Right. So here you can try to write what is the name? Hello, na? Guys. Hello. So index.jsp. Then you can try to use input. The type equal text. So no text, sir. Here I am giving submit button, right? Then volume, click me, like. So once you click this one, this is submitting, access started performing, it comes to controller. Sir, we can architecture internal work because of annotations you can't see the perfectly because of annotations is simplified now. Welcome servlet like this. Can I come here? Yes, matching. Welcome.jsp. View resolver, identify the view component. Yes, welcome.jsp is going to be executed. This is what is going to be happen. Let me run this application, sir, so that you'll understand. Right click on this. First, let me try to update once. If you have any small changes, it will be perfectly updated. Yes. Now run on server. Look at now. See, you know that how to run this application. See, look at. See, data, observe that this password is created now, right, sir? See, object is created, yes or no? Because of load on stuff tag, you already know that what is the load stuff tag, fine. So click me. Welcome, boss. Let's have the fun working with Spring Boot. Is it clear, everyone? Yes or no, please? Guys, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Friends, is it clear? This is the way. And one more thing is, this is the way you can try to work with this. Yes. So can I stop it here? You can try to understand this application, guys. Tomorrow I'm going to complete the Spring MVC basics మొత్తం కంప్లీట్ చేస్తానండి. You'll get good knowledge. Please try to practice one application ఇలా చేయండి సరదాగా. ఇంకొక రాయండి, ఇంకో మెథడ్ రాయండి.